we move on to talk about Eric Ten Hag and whether or not he will be gone before Christmas. And I have to say, since I've been hopped on GSMC, I have joined the company and started doing my live shows. I've had to talk about Eric Ten Hag almost every other day. I mean, he's always been on the news, and that past game that they lost to Liverpool 3-0, and then that very poor loss that they had of Brighton. Some critical mistakes from Ten Hag in that game. Now with them starting with 2 losses in 3 games. Look, Eric Ten Hag came into the season on the back foot. In terms of last season, he was very closely sacked. I mean, they had to do an end of season review, and it took them weeks before they decided to retain Eric Ten Hag, and it was a big mess. But it was clear, it was reported that they talked to other candidates. It was reported that they talked to McKenna. There was candidates that they went out and spoken to, and you don't normally do that if you have a manager that you're comfortable with. So clearly United have some sort of discomfort with Eric Ten Hag. No matter what they say, no matter what Ineos came out with trying to back him or not, Eric Ten Hag is on the front seat and on the hot seat. And now starting off the season with 2 losses in 3 games, some people, in other clubs, Eric Ten Hag would probably be already gone. If this was the Roman Abramovich Chelsea, Eric Ten Hag would be gone after 3 games now. This would be the moment. Or to be honest, he would not even gotten this to these 3 games. He would have been gone way back. But if they decided to be a little bit more patient and gave him up to this season, he'd be gone now. Look, he can be gone before Christmas. I don't know. Now they do have an easier set run of games. They got the Europa League fixtures that they have to manage, but they take on Southampton, Palace, these next 2 games. This could give them sort of a run, but then they got Tottenham, Villa, Brentford, West Ham, Chelsea. It can cause them that can cause them a little bit of trouble. Oh wow! Will it be gone for Christmas? It's very difficult. There's so much pressure on him. There is so much pressure on him, and he's making critical mistakes, and he's almost sacking himself in some of the mistakes that he's made up to this point. Especially in that Brighton game, the late game substitutions, the starting lineup not playing with the striker. The Manchester United CEO Omar Berrada came out saying Eric Ten Hag has our full backing. We're very happy with the decision to give Ten Hag a new contract. Eric is our full backing, and we worked very closely together in this transfer window. We're going to continue working very closely with him to help him get the best results out of the team. Do you still believe in Eric? Absolutely. We think Eric do we still believe in Eric? Absolutely. We think Eric is the right coach for us, and we're fully backing him. And then Eric Ten Hag, some of the comments he's made too have been so, been so sort of condescending, talking about, the trophies that they've won, and they've been really successful because of that. When they finished 8th this past season, some of the comments that he makes too is just so frustrating if you're a United fan, and comments that if you're on the United board, you're not wanting to hear. And I do think the pressure is getting to... No, I don't think the pressure is getting to... Yeah, no, I think the pressure is getting to him. And you can see that from the decision making. And then you have that sort of someone looking over his back shoulder, and Van Nistelrooy, which we don't really know. Was Eric Ten Hag really involved in bringing him into the staff, or was that a Manchester United decision? Is that a sort of Manchester United insurance plan for them? If they sack Eric Ten Hag, Van Nistelrooy will be the interim manager, and they can see whether or not Van Nistelrooy has the sort of potential to be a Manchester United manager, maybe a similar situation to Ole. I do think that also adds some pressure. There's just so many storylines there, and it's the same old with Manchester United. They've been so disappointing so far at the start of the season. The Liverpool game, um, you're thinking Jurgen Klopp, the legend of Liverpool, leaves. Now you finally have a chance to start really competing with them, game in, game out, league out, and then that opening day game against Arne Slot, they come in, that Liverpool team come in and they smack you at Old Trafford. You're thinking, oh my God, it's the same old. Despite Arne Slot coming in and Jurgen Klopp leaving, Liverpool are still dominating and owning us. You know, and it's really, man, the the standards of the club has dropped so massively since Alex Ferguson has left. And I do have to say, Eric Ten Hag, is he good enough for Manchester United? Who knows? I mean, he's done well at Ajax, but it's just not been good enough, and he hasn't been coaching good enough. But these problems, no matter what manager you bring in, I don't think there's just a systemic issue in the way Manchester United is run, everything about the club, and you bring in this sort of new ownership group or new footballing operations, and you're seeing some of the same old mistakes and same old rubbish that you see from, that previous Glazer ownership, which makes me think they still have some sort of role in terms of how United is being run. It's just been poor all around. And then, so we talked about the United-Liverpool game. The Brighton game, it was coming. Brighton, they got the late winner. There was some bad mistakes from Eric Ten Hag. And even that opening day against Fulham, they weren't very impressive. That opening day against Fulham, it was 0-0. It took them a long time to get that, to open up that their season with the goal. It was a late goal from Xerxes that came off the bench. But you see in those sort of second half, before that goal, Fulham had multiple opportunities in the counterattack, sort of 2-on-1, 3-on-1, and then they could have really, made United pay. But instead, Fulham just didn't get that last ball right, real lack of quality for them in transition, and then United eventually get that a goal. But overall, three disappointing performances. It's not been good enough whatsoever for Manchester United. And the international window comes at a time for United where they can sort of do a reset. But looking forward, you don't see how they'll turn it around. You don't see how they'll develop that sort of consistency. And you see some real issues. Marcus Rashford has... Okay, another thing with Eric Ten Hag is his over-reliance on Marcus Rashford. How is Rashford still starting? He has not done anything in the past year. You got Garnacho, you got Amad Diallo. Those are clearly your two best wingers, most informed wingers. Rashford, Eric Ten Hag is sort of living off Rashford, and Rashford is trying to kill him. I mean, it's just not been good enough. Marcus Rashford has not been good enough. He should not be getting in. And again, when I say Eric Ten Hag is sacking himself, it's so many mistakes that he is making. And then some of the things that he's saying in the press. But yeah, and Mason Mount, he's been injured. But again, that's sort of another player that has not been good enough for Manchester United. Again, the manager has culpability, but the players need to show up. Bruno Fernandes needs to be more consistent instead of wailing on the ground. Casemiro, an experienced sort of player, he can't be making those sort of mistakes in midfield that he's been making. Kobe Minu, okay, yeah, he's young and we shouldn't be too critical to him, and he has great quality, but he couldn't defend to save his life. I spoke about Rashford. He's not good enough. Xerxes will give him some time, okay, to adjust to the Premier League. Onana, last season he was horrible. So many mistakes. So far this season, that was a mistake on that third goal to Liverpool for Salah. That was horrible goalkeeping there. Staying on the line, and on top of that, being caught on the far post, leaving the near post open on a shot that wasn't even in the corner from where it was taken. Not even in the corner. Should be saving that. The players need to, sort of step up their game too. The players need to show that they're not that they're not ball jobs. They need to step up as well, because, the players have some culpability in this as well. Um, and yeah, Luke Shaw. Some of the injured players needs to return as well. I'm speaking of Luke Shaw, Lenny Yoro. So Dalot can play in a sort of natural position, and Mazraoui can be used as what he was brought in for depth. Matthias de Ligt, he'll get more adjusted into the Premier League. We'll see what he is for Manchester United. But look, the players need to be better. But of course, Eric Ten Hag is under huge pressure, and yeah, he'll quite frankly he'll be gone before Christmas. I mean, that's what it's looking like right now.